The laughter echoed across the bright school parking lot on a warm spring morning as parents stepped out of shiny luxury SUVs wearing expensive clothes and confident smiles. In the middle of them stood a tired single father in faded jeans, worn sneakers, and a carefully ironed old shirt. He held the tiny hand of his cheerful little daughter as if it were the most precious treasure in the world. Some parents whispered behind his back. Others openly smiled with pity. A few even laughed, convinced that a man who looked so ordinary could never give his daughter the future she deserved. But none of them knew that before the sun set that very day, one little girl's act of pure kindness would completely transform every heart in that school. If you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Library. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that inspire hope around the world. Every weekday began before sunrise for Rowan Mercer. While the city was still asleep, he quietly prepared breakfast, packed a healthy lunch, braided his daughter Ivy's hair after watching dozens of online tutorials, cleaned their tiny apartment, and then rushed to his construction job. Life had become painfully difficult after his wife passed away from a sudden illness 3 years earlier. Medical bills had taken nearly everything they owned, forcing Rowan to sell their home and move into a modest apartment on the edge of town. Every dollar he earned went toward rent, food, school supplies, and making sure Ivy never felt unloved despite everything they had lost. Although Rowan worked harder than anyone around him, exhaustion had become part of his face. Deep lines surrounded his eyes, and his rough hands carried scars from years of lifting bricks and concrete. Still, every afternoon, he greeted Ivy with the same warm smile that reminded her she was never alone. To Rowan, success was never measured by money. It was measured by hearing his daughter laugh. Ivy was unlike most children her age. She noticed things others ignored. She thanked cafeteria workers by name, picked up litter without being asked, and never laughed when another child made a mistake. Rowan had taught her that true wealth lived inside a person's heart, not inside their bank account. Unfortunately, not everyone believed that. Many parents at Ivy's prestigious scholarship school judged Rowan the moment they saw him. They wondered how someone dressed so simply could belong there. During school events, conversations often stopped when he walked by. Invitations rarely reached him. Even some children copied their parents' attitudes, quietly excluding Ivy from games because they assumed she was different. Yet Ivy never complained. Instead, she continued smiling. One sunny afternoon, the school announced its annual Community Kindness Festival, where students would present projects showing how kindness could improve the world. Most families immediately began spending hundreds of dollars creating elaborate displays with expensive decorations, digital presentations, and professionally printed posters. Rowan had nothing extra to spend. After paying rent that week, only a few dollars remained. Instead of feeling defeated, he and Ivy collected recycled cardboard boxes, old paint cans donated by neighbors, colorful paper scraps, and dried flowers from a nearby park. Night after night, after Rowan returned home exhausted from work, they sat together around their small kitchen table creating their project with love instead of money. While other displays focused on impressive designs, Ivy's project carried a simple title. The smallest kindness can save the biggest heart. The board displayed dozens of handwritten stories collected from elderly neighbors, teachers, janitors, crossing guards, delivery drivers, and homeless shelter volunteers. Every story described one small act of kindness that had changed someone's life forever. The morning of the festival arrived beneath clear blue skies and warm sunshine. Families filled the school courtyard with colorful booths, music, balloons, and excitement. As Rowan carefully carried Ivy's handmade display across the courtyard, a few parents exchanged amused glances at the recycled materials. Compared with the expensive presentations surrounding them, their project looked almost invisible. Judging began shortly afterward. Most visitors walked past expensive displays filled with flashing screens and costly decorations. Then they reached Ivy's small cardboard board. Instead of quickly moving on, they stopped. They read one handwritten story. Then another. Soon people began crying. One elderly woman recognized her own story about receiving help after losing her husband. A school janitor quietly wiped away tears after discovering Ivy had included his experience of being treated with respect by one student when everyone else ignored him. The crowd around Ivy's display grew larger every minute. Something extraordinary was happening. People weren't admiring expensive decorations anymore. They were remembering their own humanity. One by one, parents who had once laughed at Rowan began lowering their eyes in shame. They realized they had judged a man without ever knowing his story. The judges announced the winners that afternoon. To everyone's surprise, Ivy's project won first place by a unanimous decision. But the greatest surprise came afterward. The school principal invited Ivy onto the stage to explain why she chose her project. Rather than talking about winning, Ivy spoke about her father. She explained that every morning he woke before sunrise so she could chase dreams he could never afford for himself. She described how he skipped meals whenever money became tight, pretending he wasn't hungry so she could have enough. She explained that although people often looked down on him, he never responded with anger. Instead, he simply kept choosing kindness every single day because he believed bitterness only created more pain. By the time she finished, the entire courtyard had fallen silent. Many parents openly cried. Some fathers quietly reached for their children's hands. Others remembered moments when they had unfairly judged strangers based only on appearance. That afternoon became a turning point not only for Rowan and Ivy but for the entire community. Within days,